Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Today we are bringing you a game between Division D West, Azmo Carry, and Sack of Bricks. I'll be here today commentating Arrow, and I am joined by my good friend Munkus.
Hello, everybody.
So, sorry for the late start time there. We were trying to fix some sound issues, and we do have one player hitting the restroom real quick, so we'll be ready to go here very soon. But just to give you a quick look at the bracket, where we stand right now. So we're in the bottom half of the bracket now with Azmo Carry and Sack of Bricks, and you'll see this team. This is the number 4 and number 5. No, it's not. It's number 3 and number 6 seed out of D West. And the winner of this will be going on to face Pigeon Stitches next week. Which you can't see this, can you, Munkus? So I'll keep talking.
I can't. Not yet. It's not up on the just yet.
Give it a moment. The rest of the standings here, again, you know, the D West division, very, very tight at the top. Boogan at 25, Pigeon 24, Azmo Carry right behind at 23. I believe they actually lost. I think they were at first place. They lost it in like that last week to just a little bit of leapfrogging with a couple of teams who maybe took a little bit of time to get around to getting their flex matches in. But we do see Sack of Bricks here as well, and they were tied with Stranger Pings, but they owned that tiebreaker. So good on them for that.
Nice. Very nice.
So, all right. Sounds like we're about ready. So just a quick look at the maps here as we get this going. Let's see, lobby. Tell them that we're ready. Ready on you. We've got Azmo Carry selected to take the first pick. And so they banned out Battlefield of Eternity. Sack of Bricks banned out Alterac Pass. And our first game is going to be on Towers of Doom.
Getting rid of the 2-lane map is a very common thing to do.
Yeah, it's one of a couple of maps that just don't see all that much play, at least in the Div C, Div D arena. The other one being Sky Temple.
Well, you definitely have to play a completely different game on Battlefield of Eternity than the others. And, alright, let's get the draft started.
Yeah, here we go. So, Towers of Doom, the ultimate comeback map. This is the opportunity for late game plays. You've got the high priority on the bot lane, and every point matters. So, at times it may be even acceptable to go ahead and sacrifice yourself to make sure that you get those extra points on the board.
Absolutely. I am absolutely shocked that Urel got banned first.
Yes. I don't know what else to say about that. Just yes.
That has to be some kind of targeted ban because, I mean, Urel's not exactly in a great place hero-wise.
Yeah, she doesn't bring a lot that, you know, you said it yesterday that Imperius doesn't necessarily bring better. He's got self-healing, which she has. He's got the stun, which she has. His mobility is also on his stun, so there's that. Damage potential out of Imperius is a little bit higher. The only real value she has is her you can't kill me ult. As we do see that Diablo and Azmo.
And Imperius has what I think is the better version of that. His you can't kill me ult becomes a weapon.
Yeah, in a way, you could almost even say that both of his ults are kind of a you can't kill me, because his Wrath of the Angiris takes him off the map for a moment as long as he hits somebody, and then, of course, Angelic Armaments gives him that big shield. And the B-dubs.
Now, I like the other 3 bans. Azmo, very strong, gets a lot of stacking from that rotation, and Bright Wing has a global presence. Not at all shocked to see a new Brack taken.
Yep, and he makes it through the ban. Surprisingly, the Diablo being banned out, and we see Malthael and Sylvanas coming out on the other side here.
I like the Sylvanas Malthael pickup. Malthael probably the best guy for doing camps outside of like Jaina, but He also has the near global presence with his level 1 on a pale horse. And Sylvanas, she helps you get control of that bottom lane and then keep it. And she can just, while the rest of your 4-man is bottom lane pushing, she's taking a different all by herself.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like Chromie making her appearance in the Nexus here. Chromie's, I haven't seen a whole lot of Chromie since her rework, personally, in the games that I've cast. But that level 18, if you get those piercing shots, you can just obliterate a team. And you're going to make it to 18 on this map. It's very unlikely you won't.
It was much crazier when she had Blessings of the Bronze as a global haste. And wow, I just realized that Anna made it through to the second round of bans and wasn't picked.
Yeah, very different ban setup in the Div D arena.
I'm kind of surprised that they banned Anna, considering how strong Nano boosted Malthael is.
Fair enough, but they likely are looking for somebody else to fill in that slot. I don't want to call out any panda names, but, you know, Lily could certainly make an appearance. Not that she's particularly great with these heroes, but she just shows up from time to time.
Well, I think that Anna, you know, she's probably the best healer, but you always go with your comfort pick over the meta.
So we see the Johanna and Lucio coming out now. So
very on
setup.
Both very on meta. Johanna, great for that rotational speed. Clear, you want for the 4 on bottom rotation. Lucio just has great throughput now. Sound barrier is amazing.
Followed up with the Raynor and Uther coming out. So I'm trying to think of how this works out. I guess I don't know. I don't know what I guess the D shield to help counter elapsed strikes maybe. The Malthael dot damage is really gonna make it a little bit more difficult for Uther to keep up.
Right. Yeah. It's very weird. I'm not certain who's their offlane. Maybe Proby or Cassia, because you won't raid her with the rotation, but that's just not a lot of wave clear over there.
Yeah, we'll see. Interestingly enough, I already had Orpheus slotted in Shank B's slot there, so I didn't even have to change my team makeup. I like it when they do those kind of things.
Very nice.
All right, well, here we go, getting into game number 1 between Azmo Carry and Sack of Bricks.
Did Azmo Carry ban Azmodan?
They did. They sure did. Yep.
That seems like betrayal.
Yep. Just like seeing Ban Cho have somebody actually play Cho against them. What's going on here?
That's some galaxy brain thinking.
Well, once again, everybody, as we get into this game, please feel free to ping me in the chat if you find that there's any reverb or background extra in the battles. You'll know pretty quickly as soon as these guys face off. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams here. So I'll introduce Azmo Carry. We've got D-Connect on the Uther, A-Dubs on a Nubarak, Showstopper is sitting there on that Chromie, I Make the Poopy is on Raynor, and Blank Eclipse is on the Cassia.
The battle begins.
And for Sack of Bricks, we have Andre on Johanna, Megu Milk on Malthael, Malarum on Lucio, Shan CB9 on Orphea, and Hybrid Remix on Sylvanas. I might just call that Shan on Orphea.
I was thinking it was Shank. That's just my guess.
Ah, Shank.
I could be wrong.
You're probably right.
Well, let's see what we got here. So 4 members out of Sack of Bricks coming down to this bot lane, trying to get this tower down. I mentioned it earlier, bot lane being that top priority, and they're looking to get this started right away.
Yep. Almost got that tower down, but that's... Wow.
First, second, and third blood going over to Azmo Gary, as they just didn't have enough DPS and time on those towers to get that one down.
They were trying to be sneaky, but you picked Sylvanas on this map, and you're kind of letting the other team know, hey, we're going to try to be sneaky at the...
Yeah, they just didn't have enough time to get that damage in, back away. But you know what? Those are early kills, although it's already 3-1, now 3-2. They did catch up that XP, so early kills, right. Not that much XP. They'll come back.
Yeah, well, it's more. They lost some XP from top lane because Malthael's having to rotate, and Malthael's already at about a quarter of his HP right now. He can't be aggressive right now in lane, and they're doing. I see what they're doing. They're trying to dual soak with Malthael while they have 4-man pushing bottom the entire rest of the time.
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes for them. Lucio can make those quick rotations up. He did take the On a Pale Horse, so you know that does give him that faster movement speed. And we'll see if with this strategy, if Sylvanas goes into that Merc Queen to try to push this a little bit harder in the bot lane.
Well, it's not working out too great at the start. They have Chromie and Jimmy both each soaking the lane, and they're pushing in the lanes pretty far. Both towers in both the lanes are all pretty low. They need to win this bottom lane handedly if they're going with this strategy.
Yeah, and they are pushing it in a little bit here. I was on somewhere else on the screen, so I didn't see if they got any of those pumpkin sappers through. But 4v3 in the bot lane does give him a little bit of push advantage there.
I think they did get some of them through, otherwise that wall wouldn't be down, I don't think.
Yeah, probably. Johanna pops her Iron Skin to get out of that, make sure that the Anubarak Burrow Charge does not get her stunned, but Uther sitting with almost no mana has to tap as the triple altar phase comes up, and and Malthael goes down in top lane to Raynor.
Oh, that's a lot of mixed experience then, and potentially a double or triple cap.
Yeah, you've got 2v3 in the bot lane here, just trying to poke it out, as now 2 of Sack of Bricks are going up to try to get theirs, but they have Raynor and Chromie up top to deal with. And now Johanna's going down. Malthael's back, but Raynor's about to almost finishes off the Sylvanas. Now he's in trouble.
If you're Sack of Bricks, this is not exactly how you wanted this to go. You have to win a 4v3 in the bottom lane. Like, you just can't... you can't sacrifice bot, mid, and top.
Indeed. Now, they did end up getting their safe altar, quote-unquote, safe with both Chromie and Raynor, and they did end up getting Raynor and Chromie killed, so that catches them up a little bit on the XP, so they're just a little bit away from level 7 now, as they're also now taking that top camp, looking to get some more XP out of that, see if they can get a little pressure in the off lane as well.
Right, and the good thing about this map is that you can always just take a deep breath, recollect your thoughts, and just make sure you don't get tilted, because it's not over until it's over.
How many games have been won on this map with 1 point left on the core? I mean, I know I can think of at least 3 in the last 2 weeks just of my own. As we do see an invade of Cassie and Anubarak into 3. Johanna pops in with the Condemn and Iron Skin, pulling him in close. Cassie is getting chunked down, and she'll finish off as Anubarak, also very low, looking to get that Burrow Charge out, but not enough.
So aggressive.
And Uther came down to help, but no. There just wasn't anything to be done with that.
No is correct. The very aggressive plays, but it looks like the team just wasn't all on the same page. Anubarak went in kind of by himself is what it looked like.
Well, I mean, he had Cassia there, but yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to be done into that 2v3. So we do see these 2 altars now channeling, Lucio channeling theirs. It looks like he's going to get it, and they're trying to poke out on Azmo carry side here as Malthael goes in.
And Sack of Bricks now has the experience lead, but Malthael, he's going to escape by the hairs of his chinny chin chin.
But Johanna gets taken out. Lucio just barely able to keep Malthael alive through that, but he's getting chased down by Raynor. Looks like he
But-
will make it out, though.
But Lucio is another one of those heroes that doesn't really fully come online until at least level 10, not really until level 16 before he has his full healing. So, early game, if having it being this close and this even, I'd say that that's what Sack of Bricks was.
So level 10's coming on for Azmo carry just slightly ahead. We do get the Cocoon and Divine Shield, Slowing Sands, which we see popped right now here, Lightning Ball, or Orb, and the Hyperion out of Raynor.
Now, there's going to be a little bit of burden of execution to make sure that they make sure to cocoon the right target, because if anybody but Lucio is cocooned, he's going to just melt that.
For sure, and so we do see here 4v4 as Lucio gets caught and chunked, the web going out onto Sylvanas. She manages to get out here, but now the Impale hitting Johanna and Sylvanas and brings them both to the point of Johanna dying to that Cassia, and this is not the time you want a death right before this altar spawns.
That works too. You don't have to cocoon Lucio if he's dead.
Yeah, and Lucio did take that high 5 ult, so trying to help with the cleanses. I wonder if that was initially to help counter potentially the Chromie temporal loop, but she didn't take it, so...
Maybe the value. I think high 5 is a very situational ult. The value of that of Sound Barrier is so enormous. Like right now, Sound Barrier would save them a lot of grief here.
Yeah, and you see Mega Milk almost gets obliterated there, but now Johanna all by herself trying to stall the altar, but doesn't make it and ends up paying for it with her life.
Oh no, yes, and there's a situation where Sound Barrier would have kept them in the fight, and Johanna probably alive.
Yep, entirely possible. They had multiple members of their team that were very low in that fight going into it, and popped a Hyperion, so at any point that Hyperion could have finished off probably 2 or 3 different members if RNG was not in their favor.
And I do like taking Hyperion here because aside from just clearing people off of the towers, of the capture points, you can just fire and forget it to push in any lane that you want. You know, you just walk up, fire off a Hyperion, walk away, and suddenly, you know, you've fired off people.
In the bot lane here, we've got, again, Johanna very deep, 4v2, as she uses Blessed Shield to get out of that, and now they're fighting on their fort here.
Putting a little bit too much emphasis on that top lane, having Lucio up there, and giving a bot as a result.
And here comes the Cocoon onto Orphea, as Anubrak Bro charges in, tries to get as many beetles out as he can, get this tower
Wailing
down.
Arrow.
There goes the Crushing Jaws, but it doesn't hit anybody. The Condemn will, however, pull in Cassia as her orb goes out, but doesn't manage to leap onto anybody else. Impale stalling that Malthael engage, and now it's a 4 versus 3, almost a 5 versus 3 in a moment here. But they will make it back successfully to their fort.
Wow, this is a really good play for the Sack of Bricks if they can manage to get this second capture. Raider is just so far behind, he won't be able to make it down in time. So this is a 3v4 on bottom lane. And with Sylvanas, they're just going to be able to recap.
And that's absolutely amazing that they were able to do that, because losing this bot tower, they had no way to retreat from any fight. But because they were able to get the Cassia kill, because Raynor was nowhere nearby, they were able to just walk in and push Azmo carry away. Now, they only had 3 forts at the time, so they only got 6 total points of that, so they are still just slightly behind because of that. But this is still anybody's game.
Right. You always got to be cognizant of the math on this map. I like to say that you should never really go boss until your opponent is at 4 points left on the court, because it's a major throw potential, and the towers are so very important.
So we did not see the Merc Queen coming out of Sylvanas, so she's not getting that extra value out of the pumpkins. She took possession at 4 there. I think that's the same level. And now we've got 4 versus 2, soon to be 3. Chromie's almost here, and Uther's coming around the back here. The Cocoon going out onto Sylvanas just to try to slow things down there as one of those sappers makes it through. There goes the second one, does manage to connect, and the third one will too. I thought he was going to die.
That's a half-health tower. Now, they could leave Sylvanas down bot to sort of sneak the bottom tower while their safe capture point, but looks like a bit of a bush gank. Johanna waiting very patiently.
Yeah, and up top we have Raynor and Malthel getting both of those points, so those will be safe. But it's a 4v4. The crushing Jaws goes out, hits 3 of Azmo, and obliterates the Uther. Nubrak falls shortly thereafter. Cassia almost dead, and Chromie with the last rights just barely missing the kill on that.
Goodness, great balls of death.
So Sack of Bricks, thanks to that Orphea play, pushing the team all together, will get that altar. I think they maybe even could have come down here, gotten this tower first, but that now puts them very slightly ahead, 20 to 18. But just as we've seen, they were down 12 points, I think, just a moment ago. Don't count out either team. The momentum shift is in favor of Sack of Bricks right now, but it could be anybody's game until the last minute.
I don't like this though. I don't like leaving the bottom lane abandoning it completely. You should defend that.
Yeah, for sure. And you've got the bot camps are coming up in 10 seconds. Both sides. This should be a defend bottom fort, get those camps, potentially as many as 6 points. But they're going to come up here. They're going to sacrifice that bot fort in favor of the boss.
No. Okay. That puts the math. That puts it at 14. They have. Whereas they could have pushed in one of these bottom siege camps or held on to the tower. Let's say they hold on to the. That's 5 shots. That brings them. That's 4 shots that they need. Right now they need 4 shots.
Yeah, and it looks like, so 4v4 here in this bot over this camp, and Ubrak's going to dive in onto Lucio. He puts the Cocoon out, so they're trying to take this point as 3 of them are on the point. Now Orphea gets the cushion Jaws, but she'll die as part of it. And now Johanna goes down as well. The camp being taken by Azmo carry, so they're going to get damage onto that fort most likely, especially with 2 camps going here into it. And they're going to get this comfortable bot lane. And
oh no! Stop capping Cassia! Stop capping it! Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of damage here, but they have enough. So the decision to not take that bottom fort, or rather to not defend that bottom fort, left them with losing both of the camps and losing that bottom altar. As now Anubrak dives in with the Cassia Fend and just demolishes the Lucio.
Oh, you hate to see it happen. You're correct. They gave up map control in bottom lane for 4 shots at the core. You just, unless it's going to win you the game, don't ever go boss. Go keep bottom alive. Keep bottom.
Well, we do see now Chromie finishes her quest as Azmo carry, listening in on the stream, is saying we're not going to lose this bottom fort. We want to keep this, and keeps Anubrak and Chromie down there. And look at how much damage is going in on that Johanna, as she will now die. That Chromie is just doing work.
She's as dead as a doornail, and this is an untenable situation, because now Chromie can just poke them with the fully piercing Q shot. At this point, a Sack of Bricks needs to just abandon the bottom lane and push a different lane, because they're not going to get through this Chromie.
Yeah, they need to, with these altars spawning, they have to focus on that. The level 20 is now online for Azmo carry. They got the rewind, the redemption, piercing for their Q talent, the eternal lightning orbs, and the upgraded Hyperion. That's kind of surprising, the reduced cooldown on the Hyperion, but you know what? I mean, the more Hyperions you have, the easier it is to stall these, and it looks like they're gonna at least get the one, of course, but now the second is also channeled, so they'll get both of those altars. 8 points going over to Azmo carry.
Not quite. Oh yes, 8 points. 8, correct.
Yeah, and Malthael just a little bit caught out there. The burrow charge and stuns from A-dubs on that Anubarak right into the fend, and he just gets melted.
Malthael should be right back up immediately with no one can stop death. But he hasn't taken a level 20 yet.
Well, I think they were level 19 still when he died. And so now...
It still works. You can take the talent and pop it.
Oh, fair enough. And now there goes the indestructible level 20 for Johanna, but nothing to be done with that. So now 5 members of Azmo carry available. And now they're looking to take these bot camps, maybe even get this bot fort, and they need 7 points to win this game. That boss is coming up in 1 minute, so all of Sack of Bricks will be available. As I put the camera in way too far south there.
Okay, a little problem with Raider taking the Hyperion. He doesn't have a hero to lower the cooldown on for Hyperion. Obviously, it looks like it's going to work all out for his team, but I'd say just take Execute. You murder
harder.
Well, it'll murder the tower, and it will murder the other team.
Yeah, and here's so this bottom fort now, I guess it got upgraded, is now in favor of Azmo carry. They also have the mid keep, so Sack of Bricks has to defend the altar and the incoming sappers as Malthael once again gets deleted with the Lucio in the cocoon, and because of that, now Sylvanas falls as well immediately behind. They didn't have all the team that they needed there, and that's going to be GG as those sappers do make their way through.
Wow, back and forth game. I'm looking at chat here. Chromie gonna work, says Moist Venus. And yeah, she, with Piercing Sands especially, she's going to just pierce through everything, and she got a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at the stats here, and I can't apparently whisper Andrade, so we'll just assume that he'll let me know. So looking at the stats here, so 19 to 8. Apparently they've already got the custom game going. All right, well then, 19 to 8 kills. Sorry, jumped right into the lobby, so we'll be back in just a moment as we get game number 2 set up. As you can maybe tell, we're going to Cursed Hollow.
Oh, goodness.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. So we are going to be going to Cursed Hollow for our next match. So Azmo Carry won that game on Towers of Doom, and Sack of Bricks said, let's take a nice big map and have some fun on it. Do want to take just a brief moment to say thanks to a whole lot of you. So Yitbosser, Lilabel, Molaram, Sigrun Shard, Keyhots, Liderock, Swingtime, and Double Dom. Appreciate you guys following the stream. And big shout out to Moist Weenus for those 69 bits. Always a pleasure. Thank you much. And both teams are ready to go, so we are going to get this going.
Very interested to see the map, or the hero choices on Cursed Hollow. Probably the biggest map in the game.
Yeah, I think it is. That's about all I have to say about that. It'll be interesting to see if they do anything different with their draft here. You know, Chromie, once again, like, could be a bit of a terror here onto these points, because you can see where the person channeling is, and makes it real easy to point and click, right? You can't dodge that if you don't know it's coming.
Right. Oh, and there's the self-inflicted ban right there. Getting rid of their namesake.
Azmo Carry banning out the Azmo Dan in the first round draft. And it looks like Janky, I added a little pet thing to the bottom of the page just for giggles, just to see, you know, what happened. And it levels up by clicking on it, so he made it to level 3. Good job, Janky.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell's he talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. ETC, the second ban coming out. First one here for Sack of Bricks.
Very surprising, I guess, for the global, for stage dive. That's pretty strong. Johanna being banned, excellent wave clear, but there isn't the rotation that there is on a lot of the other medium-sized maps. So, just, I guess, getting a bit of a tank choke and leaving Diablo.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. If I'm Azmo Carry, I don't think I banned the Johanna, because it just, like, it wasn't that effective that last game. They had no problems just shutting her down, isolating the healer, or just killing her herself.
Pick up a Nubrak. I'm again shocked that a Nubrak makes it all the way through.
And Anumu was very impactful that game too. He was setting up plays left and right, so it does surprise me that made it through.
Yeah, I find it a little bit questionable that they got rid of Lily. Are they thinking, okay, we get rid of the blinds with Johanna and go all in on auto attack?
I mean, I expected there to be some more of it, but yeah. So Sylvanas and a Brightwing with that global, of course, and we're gonna see that I make the poopy on Sylvanas. Be interested to see if his build mirrors from Sack of Bricks team or not. He goes something different. So
Zeratul was in the other game unless he was just getting very.
Well, you know what? If you're not sure what else to ban, Zeratul's a good ban to ban, right? I mean, because when he shows up, it's a very bad day for you, right? So it almost seems like it doesn't even take that great of a Zeratul player sometimes to really have a huge impact if the rest of your team knows what they're doing with it. And followed up by an Alganis. Well,
right. See, this is what I was thinking here. Like, they're going all in on this auto attack build. I wouldn't be shocked if they grabbed Abathur in the last slot. If they're going all in like that, just get rid of, you know, all the blinds.
I don't know. We might be seeing a Juice Pirates kind of scenario here. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see like a Zarya coming up in this next one, as we do see Chromie Blaze coming out of Azmo Carry to finish off that round. So
I think again, we've talked about, you know, how Blaze is a little bit outclassed by Imperius, but also Artanis is open, and that's a huge blind for a team that is quite literally all auto attack. There is basically no ability damage except for a couple of Tyrael shots, the blade dash from Artanis, and your grenades from Morales. This is just get in there, be big, be chunky.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, the blaze stuns could provide some value. You do have a lot of front line there in the Artanis Tyrael Greymane. You don't have any dive on your team other than that Anubarak. So Morales is probably relatively safe. And if Anubarak does decide to dive in, try to get the cocoon on Morales, then he's just gonna die as Greymane and Raynor, and Artanis all just turn and blow him up. But here we go on game number 2 for Cursed Hollow between Azmo Carry and Sack of Bricks. Why don't you go ahead and start us off on this one?
All right, I'll start off with the Sack of Bricks with Andrade on Artanis. We have Hybrid Remix on Greymane. We have Mega Milk on Tyrael, Malarum on Lieutenant Morales, and Shank on Raynor.
And for Azmo Carry, we've got Blank Eclipse on the Blaze. Chromie going to be played by Showstopper. D-Connect is going to be on the Brightwing. Sylvanas going to be played by I Make the Poopy. And A-Dub's coming in on that Anubarak once again.
Oh, and they I think, have sniffed out maybe some silly shenanigans from the Sylvanas. They're waiting for her to come. No, straight up Juice Pirates? What?
I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but they're looking to get in on this fort as quickly as possible and burn it down as much as they can. As I Make the Poopy and Brightwing coming in, trying to slow things down. Artanis getting chunked down hard by that Sylvanas. She just does so much damage, and he will go down. But the Greymane follows shortly thereafter, and it looks like they're just going all in on this fort, hoping they can get it down before they all just die. And it looks like that Tyrael will take it down.
Oh, goodness. And they got the fort, but at what cost?
Yeah, we'll see. So, I mean, they lose a level advantage. All of their team is now off the map, but they do get catapults in that bot lane. So, a little bit more pressure for when those tributes are in the top lane, especially as Artanis gets the swap onto Blaze.
2-level disadvantage now. And they're going to lose towers on bot.
And of course, the towers actually provide XP, whereas the forts and keeps only provide a bonus to your passive XP. So, again, Juice Pirates is a little bit different functionality here. You still have to have that advantage for a significant amount of time for it to be valuable from an XP standpoint.
Right. And they're also to the disadvantage of having this curse point being the lane that they chose to push in from.
Exactly. Yep. And Raynor's going to go ahead and work on their siege camp as Brightwing and Blaze will get the Bruiser camp here in the mid lane.
Right, and though, as long as they can keep within the same talent tier going into the objective, then they'll be just fine with extra catapults pushing down.
And look at the bot lane. I Make the Poopy going in, getting some damage on that line, but did not realize there was a hidden Tyrael just below him as Raynor comes in. Chunks Sylvanas down pretty significantly, but not able to take her out before she uses her Haunting Wave to get out of the problems there.
Right. And right now it looks like there will be a siege camp pushing top lane, which is a very beneficial to Azmo Carry, because that's a mile and a half away from the tribute point, and Brightwing can just Z down there. She doesn't need to stay to start running down.
Yeah, and the real question is here, do you stay defend that? Do you let it just run rampant? And, who is this tribute more important for? Right now, you're both at level 6, so you want to take this. If you want this fight, you want to take it before they get to level 7, which is coming right up. And Brightwing's going to get that for him here shortly.
Right. And I'm surprised Brightwing hasn't come down, because her team is going to get just out-poked without her.
Yeah, here she comes now that they've got level 7, though. She was able to get that from the
that's what she wanted.
The XP soak. And here they come now. So Nubrak Burrow charges in on the Greymane, manages to get a stun on him, just barely misses as Greymane makes it out with 45 health.
Goodness gracious. It looked like a dead wolf.
It was very close, and so now in the top lane here, Artanis getting the rest of this soak. So it looks like they'll be on even talent tiers here very soon, and that initial 2-level disadvantage that they had is slowly working its way toward a neutral territory for them.
Just getting the passive experience from that tower has certainly helped keep them within a level playing.
Yeah, so I was just here we go. So passive experience, they're up 1400, which coincidentally is the same amount that they are down in hero kills. So ultimately that has turned out to be a net positive for them at this point in the game now.
Well, true. Well, and they lost the curse point because of that. So I think
here comes the second one, right? Both of them in bot lane. You lose that advantage that you had gained early lane or early game because of your juice piratey nature. Just bad RNG for them.
Yeah, the game seems to be punishing them for being dirty pirates.
Yep, and we'll see. You know, they just need level 10 to come online so that they can fully realize the power of this comp. And Azmo Carry doing everything they possibly can to make sure that that doesn't happen before they're ready, before they've got their comp ready. Tyrael diving in to stall the
4v5,
and that was a 4v1. As now Tyrael will die to that dot damage from Sylvanas, and no real value out of that other than to slow things down. I don't know that's necessarily that valuable, but I haven't run Juice Pirates, so I don't know. So Artanis in the top, looking to get some value onto the towers, getting that XP now. And here comes Brightwing, and it looks like 2 to 3 others are going to follow up. Chromie and Anubrak is following shortly behind as well. Weenus with the popcorn in chat.
Nice. I am wondering, let's see here. What did... Yep, Jimmy went Exterminator at level 1. They are just all in on burning down PvE.
So we do get our level 10s now for both teams. We got Cocoon for Anubrak, the Combustion for Blaze.
And there's the Juicy Juice.
Emerald Wind for Brightwing, the Wailing Arrow for Sylvanas, and Slowing Sands for Chromie. And here they go, looking to get this bottom keep.
Juice Pirates! Ho!
And Sylvanas is right there, but she doesn't know it's coming. Oh, maybe she does now. And here we go, popping everything they can as Sylvanas gets the Wailing Arrow.
Oh, the silence!
Massive damage out as Morales will go down, but it looks like they will get this keep. Maybe? Yeah, there goes the Sanctification.
A little bit late on that Sanctification.
And Tyrael's now in a Cocoon, so it is going to be a full team wipe out of this, but that is the first keep of the game at 7 minutes going over to Sack of Bricks. And Tyrael, dodging the whole of the team, manages to escape.
The man who is supposed to die escapes with his life.
But
and
now,
wow,
top lane has so much pressure and only a Morales to do anything about it. So they may have gotten the first keep, but they may very well lose the second keep here in short order.
Well, it looks like Artanis and the boys are back up.
And here's Morales already at 1/3 of her health as Azmo Carry coming in. Tyrael in the bot lane trying to save this fort, but you gotta get up here, dude. This keep is gonna go down.
Yes. That's a dead keep.
So now 3 people in the top lane, 1 in each of the other lanes, soaking the XP, trying to get as much value as they can out of it. And Azmo Carry coming in, getting that keep, and they're looking for this boss now.
It's absolutely the right play. That boss could it might not do much to the core, but it's certainly going to apply some much needed.
Yeah, and not even so much as a look coming out of our Juice Pirates here. As they stand around, I guess they're waiting to pop the medevac. Yep, there you go.
Are
As
they
they're
really
going
going
straight to core.
race?
They're going to try to race 5v5 and a boss coming behind them. I mean, they have the Greymane, they have the Rainer. Look at the cores are melting. Holy smokes, 75%, 80 on the other side.
Well,
they might just do it.
Juice Pirates.
Material Sanctification burning it, and they make it work in game number 2. Juice Pirates is back, baby.
That is some juicy juice. That was some high C, the Capri Sun, the Sunny D.
Let's not talk too much about the Sunny D in chat. I'm not. This is a PG-13 stream, right?
Wow, there's only
cow.
one way you see a 9-minute Cursed Hollow game, and that's with the Juicy Juice Pirates.
And look at that 10-0.
Look at the hero damage. Let's see who broke 10,000. That was Sylvanas. Good job, Sylvanas.
And she brought the pain, but killing that team didn't matter. They just went in straight for the fort, the keep, and then said, you know what, you can have our boss, we're gonna take your core. And with 30% difference, they managed to pull it out.
Oh yeah, in that stat line, 10-0. Like you post this and into NGS, and they're gonna be like, "What am I even looking at?" And then they'll see the Morales and I see what we're looking at here. We're looking at Juice Pirates.
Crazy, crazy game. So we'll be back in a moment as we wait for our teams to set up the next game for game number 3 between Azmo Carry and Saucy Juice Pirates Sack of Bricks. We'll be back in a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this saucy game between Azmo Carry and Sack of Bricks. We just saw the Juice Pirates bring it with a 30% leftover core on their side. That was a hell of a game. This next map, we're going to be going to Sky Temple. I believe the selection of... Oh, wait, what did they do? You hit craft details, please. There we go. So team one. So this is yep. Okay, so Azmo Carry elected for first pick, and they are ready to go. So let's hop into this draft. Rodney,
that's their turn. Again, they always have had first pick, I believe.
They have. Yep. Each game they selected first pick or were given first pick. So that's nice when both teams agree on what they want. It makes it nice and easy for you. So, Rodney, just a quick shout out. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you stopping by. So Abathur, they're saying no more cheese, even though Abathur's not really cheese. They don't want to deal with any of those kind of different styles of play on this map.
Abathur is and a half. I say this as a guy with over 420 games played on Abathur. And this is the first time we're seeing the off-meta bans here where they're not banning just Johanna and I forget what was the other standard ban.
That one.
Of course, can't have their namesake in. He's got to carry their team. He can't play the game.
So I'm actually a little bit surprised that they didn't look to ban, maybe the Morales or the Tyrael here, even the Greymane, because as we were talking about, this is potentially another map where you could just say, let's go Juice Pirates. So we'll see if they manage to pick up something in their comp that can help them to prevent that from coming up later.
Right. Oh, sorry.
And first pick, we've got the Anubrak as the draft has gone 100%. I didn't lose you, did I? Okay. Well, Munkus will be rejoining us soon, so for now, you get stuck with me. So, hybrid remix coming in on that Orphea with the Raynor. So we're going to see that slow combo between Raynor and Orphea with the level 1 ace in the hole, and I don't know Orphea's talent, but the one that gives her that extra damage. And I make the poopy going back onto that Sylvanas, and I got to say, it didn't work out for them that game, but if that game went longer, that was a tough hero to deal with. And the Chromie coming back out again, which was so impactful game 1. We'll see how it works out for him in game 2. Did you come back? Was that you? Apparently not.
Oh, right. Hey, sorry.
There you are.
My mic didn't pick that up. Sylvanas was also in game 1 and very impactful. I believe
on the other team,
Sylvanas Chromie have been... Oh, was she on?
Yeah, she was on Sack of Bricks in game 1.
Oh, no. The curse. She's lost every game.
Indeed she has, and there goes the Morales ban. I don't think they would have gone with the Juice Pirates in this scenario with the Orphea, but you know what? Enough of it was there that maybe they still could have done something with it.
Also, Morales and Jimmy Jams just go very well together.
So instead of Morales, they get the Rhaegar. And it could be interesting. I don't want to say that they could go Bloodlust here, but they could go Bloodlust here.
I mean, they could go Bloodlust. They could also go Syndragosa. There are very standard picks, but they have options here. They're not married to one particular role.
Yeah, and Mega Milk's their tank player, so Arthas, or at least was in the last couple games, so we'll see what they get. But imagine a Bloodlusted Arthas taking the Frostmourne auto attack build on top of the Raynor. That could be painful.
Right.
Thrall. So a little bit of a swapping around unless they're about to change on me here. Anybody changing?
I like the Thrall. He's very strong, but Imperious, and once Imperious gets his self-heal, then Imperious can really go toe-to-toe with Thrall in the...
Yeah, we'll see how this turns out. This is, you know, it looks like they've got some good lockdown between the Arthas and the Thrall roots for an Eternal Feast. I think if I'm Orphea, I'm probably looking more to get the Crushing Jaws in this game. You've got, you know, pretty well-defined areas of where the team's going to be, and if you can land a good combo, the especially with those roots, you can just obliterate the team, especially with your level 1 talent. And Uther's going to try to counter that with the armor and the potentially Divine Shield.
Right.
I don't know. They do have a lot of stuns over there, so we'll see.
I do think Jimmy is a good ranged carry to pick into a Nubrak, because he doesn't care about the spell armor.
Yeah, for sure. So, for the blue team, we've got Deconnect on the Uther, A-Dubs again on the Anubrak, I Make the Poopy on Sylvanas, Showstopper running on the Chromie, and Blank Eclipse on Imperious.
And we have Andrade on Arthas, Mega Milk on Thrall, Moram on Rhaegar, Shank on Jimmy Jams, and Hybrid Remix on... I need to step away, sorry.
Just said what? Alright, well, we got some saucy chat going on. They want to fight to the death over Vision, and by fight to the death, they mean not fight at all. So, early on, we see the, what is that, Hammer the Lightbringer, I think it is? Yeah, for Uther. So he's going for that stun cooldown reduction and the Shadow Dagger quest for Sylvanas. So be keeping an eye on that as we also get Echo of the Elements and the Root quest for Arthas. And you might be silenced again. So in the bot lane, it's going to be Thrall and a Nubrak here instead of the Thrall and Imperious. Imperious up in the top, being chased off by Raynor and Orphea, getting chunked down to half health. And Chromie picking up that level 1 talent finally when she gets to level 2. And here's the Uther getting chased down by Rhaegar and the Raynor with that slow just chunking down Deconnect down to about half health pretty easily. And in the mid lane, we've got Arthas getting just demolished by Sylvanas, but he will make it out thanks to Rhaegar showing up and healing him up a bit. Orphea safe soaking, just keeping an eye out here, maybe keeping an eye for one of her teammates to come and get a gank, as Raynor now starts on the siege camp for Sack of Bricks, and Deconnect will start on their siege camp for Azmo carry. So we do see that ace in the hole, and Ancestral Strength is that talent that I was mentioning, the one that increases the damage thanks to those slows and stuns and I think silences. So look for that big burst of damage when they've got that Rhaegar slow, when they've got the Thrall slow at level 16, when they've got the Arthas slows on the E. Like, these two heroes are just going to go absolutely bonkers. And it looks like we've got a 3v1 in the bot lane, as I think that was probably Thrall saying he was coming down. But now Raynor gets stunned, and the Dragon's Breath just chunking him down, thanks to his Adrenaline Rush. Not quite going to be to the point where he's got to back away. Top lane, we've got Orphea v Imperious. Neither hero really going too great, and I missed that kill as Chromie finishes off the Raynor. He was at full health when we left almost, so something crazy happened there. And now in the bot lane, it's 4v2 as these altars are coming up. Megamilk getting chunked down, and Uberak burrow charges in, stuns on the Thrall, and Chromie will land 1 Q on him, but not quite enough to finish him off, as they will get this full wall and tower. That's going to set them up very well for the second altar. And here comes A-Dubs burrow charging in on the Rhaegar. Uther getting the stun as well, managing to take him out under his own fort. No respect at all. just walking into my house and just taking it out underneath the shots. And up here, top lane, we've got Andrade on the Arthas and Blank Eclipse on Imperius going toe-to-toe. And it looks like Arthas is going to go ahead and back out as Orphe is coming up now. And that will push Imperius off the point. In the mid lane, Azmo carry looking to get the value here as they did finish that bottom fort now. So anything that they got out of these towers, or these altars, shrines, control points, whatever you want to call them, the place that does the shooty thing, is just free money. And they still have this Sage camp going in the bot lane that Thrall has as yet not been able to finish off. And there goes the final shots coming out of the midpoint. Seven's online for both teams now. We did get the cleanse from Rhaegar, so that'll help out with those stuns a little bit. And speaking of stuns, the Impale out onto the Arthas, the cleanse will protect Arthas from any additional stuns there as he gets the root onto Imperius and I believe Sylvanas. And he's going to hearth right behind the tower, but he will have to walk away. And the tower just getting chunked down thanks to that Sylvanas trait as Burrow charge in onto the Arthas. Not able to take him down, but they do get a significant amount of damage onto this tower. And even with the somewhat limited healing potential out of an Uther, they're just not taking damage. They aren't getting damage from the Rainer or from that Orphea in significant enough quantity, spread around enough to even worry them enough to have to back out there. Thrall still in this bot lane trying to soak up the XP, get his team back in this race. They are a little bit ahead now in XP, so they may be able to get that level 10 as both teams do come up here to get their Bruiser camp. But you're looking at trickle XP that's going to be a little bit in favor of Azmo carry. This mid fort is already 2/3 down, maybe a little bit more than that even, and it could contribute very quickly. And as soon as that bottom shrine comes up, that's a dead fort if they can get just a few shots. And with that capture, they will actually pull ahead in XP. And now if you're Sack of Bricks, you got to be watching them coming over here going, maybe this is maybe they're going to come over here, and there you go. So Rhaegar will step onto that point, get that XP, catch them back up, and actually put them a little bit ahead as they're just about to get to level 10s. And Arthas gets that root out to protect himself from the damage coming in. But we've got 4 people here in the mid lane, and they're just going to walk in and take out this fort. The Sack of Bricks is walking away as Arthas gets 2 double root onto 2 members of Azmo carry. But they're just going to finish this off. There's nothing they can do about it with the beetles. And you've just got Rhaegar and Arthas. And Arthas continuing to go in. Questionable decision as he gets stunned by the Uther. Burrow charge from the Anubarak and ultimately will die there. The cleanse did go out, but it just wasn't enough. So we do see heroic talents coming online for both teams. We've got the Cocoon for Anubarak, the Slowing Sands for Chromie, the Wailing Arrow, Sylvanas, and the Angelic Armaments for the Imperius. And Uther has not yet taken his ult. We'll see which one he decides to go with. I'm fully expecting a D-Storm here. Whereas for Sack of Bricks, we've got push in the top lane with that camp. They're trying to get an offset value to what Azmo is getting out of that bot lane. But now they're just going to potentially go and start this boss. Yeah, it looks like they're going to get this going. This is a bad scenario for Sack of Bricks. You're gonna lose damage on that bottom keep at the very minimum. But their ults here real quick are the Army of the Dead for Arthas.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay.
We got Thundering from Thrall, Ancestral Healing from Rhaegar, Rainer's Raiders from Jimmy, and Crushing Jaws from...
So we did get that Crushing Jaws, which I think is going to be helpful for them, but, you know, they now have their first fort of the game, but now there's a boss coming into this bottom keep. It's already got half the tower down, and you're probably going to at least lose the rest of that wall, maybe even your... Well, maybe. I don't know how much damage
I don't think the well goes down, unless...
Back in the top lane, though, we've got Sylvanas getting the D-Shield, but she does get obliterated there. It's a 4v3 going in the other direction. Now 4v4. Burrow charge in from Anubarak. Managed to hit the Rhaegar, and he just barely survives with 16 health.
Goodness gracious.
Arthas not so lucky, though.
That was a, well, that's about as well as you could trade down on one man who had to clear the boss.
And they did just get that 1 tower and a half of the wall down.
Yeah. That was an excellent defend by sorry, second break. I was thinking stone's throw. No, that's not it.
One of those teams with some kind of earthy name to it.
Having to do with gravity. Things pertaining to gravity for 500, please, Alex.
So we do get the bottom siege camp for Azmo carry. Now look what you got. You got me doing this. And Sacabrix is going to go ahead and start theirs as well. They can't just let this push. They have to defend this because if they leave it alone, it's just going to finish off their keep. And we do see Sylvanas up in the top lane getting that, but the rest of Azmo carry. Oh, and here we go into the slowing sands. The burrow charge in onto Andrade on the Arthas. He pops the army and the cocoon going out onto Raynor. As Arthas does manage to pull out with enough health to survive. There we got the root onto Imperius coming from Arthas. Anubrak dives in and the Imperius charge catches 3. Crushing Jaws goes out, misses everybody. The Ancestral going out to keep Arthas alive as the Divine Shield manages to keep up the Chromia. She was timed out for a while. Blank Eclipse on the Imperius goes down, however, followed by Uther, and Rhaegar gets demolished by Chromie. And there goes the bug. Off the map! Falling off the side!
Why engage like that? You're down Sylvanas. You don't have your whole team.
That was a pretty heavy engage for them to. They could have just walked out, but I feel like they perhaps got a little overconfident. They felt like this game they've been able to take those team fights and never lose them. Maybe they don't always win them. Maybe they don't get a kill, but they never lose them, and they manage to walk away from them very healthy. But in that case, not so much.
Right, you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them, and that right there, that was folding time. And it's not like they would have given up much. They would have still had Sylvanas capturing top point. They could have gotten some stuff.
And for those of you who are joining us today who are perhaps not as old as the rest of us, that is a music reference, I believe from Kenny Rogers, as both teams will get their bruiser games.
Yes. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them, know when to walk away.
All right. So Bruiser Camp's going in the top lane as Sacabrix is going to come up here looking to clear that up. Boss timer currently at 110, so that's a threat now to potentially both teams as the bottom forts are gone. And we do have Sacabrix has that because of that Sylvanas in the top lane. They did get pretty significant value out of that altar and got the top keep almost to half.
Right, but why did they just... Why are they... Okay, maybe they're trying to soak to 16. I'm just thinking they are... Now Sylvanas is showing top, they could get a team fight here going down.
Absolutely, and you only see the Uther, barely if they do. You know that the rest of them there now we're at that siege camp. And they're sharking around. They're just playing very hesitantly now that both teams are 16. They still see, well, they no longer see Sylvanas top, so they can't do anything too aggressive now, as they'll just go ahead and get their siege camp.
Ooh, that's a good timing on capturing that siege camp. Remember, in the earlier games, when I believe it was from yesterday, when proper timing of the siege camp ended up mattering a little bit. You get a lot more damage if you make sure that the other team isn't in a position to...
Yeah, for sure. And so now we do see both of these altars shrines coming up, and Azmo carry in that bush looking to get something out of this. Tons of damage going to the back lane as Andrade gets cocooned, dodging the entirety of that crushing jaws. Slowing Sands keeping Rhaegar just locked down and silence hitting Raynor, so he's going to be in trouble here. The Ancestral going to keep him up. Andrade goes down on the Arthas. And Sylvanas going in deep trying to finish off the kill on Rhaegar, but manages to get the D-shield at the last possible moment.
No, but that's a dead Anubrak.
Anubrak gets squished. So a 1-for-1 trade, but the members of Azmo carry are so low that they have to pull back. That time trap manages to save Blank Eclipse, from death just barely, and now they've got a siege camp on their bottom well. They've got a shrine doing damage in mid, and it looks like they're about to have shrine doing damage in top as well.
Oh, goodness gracious me. What do you do now if you're Azmo carry? They're all showing top. Maybe this is the time for the most gutsy boss play ever.
I was gonna say I think that if I'm Azmo carry, that's where I would have gone. It would have been a tough call, but you know they have Sylvanas to do some pretty significant damage, and Chromie can do damage to the boss now. So I think that would have been the call to make 20 seconds ago when you were waiting on your 5th player to come up. Not right now, of course, because now they're all coming down. So what a fight! You lose one member, you take an even fight, 1-1, and but you're just too low to do anything for the rest of those 2 shrines. And it looks like they're all coming down. This could very well be the team fight that ends the game right here. What do you think, Monkus?
Oh, I'm just trying to think here. What do you do in this situation? Sorry, I was just lost in my thoughts. With oh no, this Cocoon comes out. Ancestral healing, crushing jaws doesn't hit anybody. Cocoon is done. It's a big fight over nothing right now.
The Wailing Arrow goes out and hits 2, and Uther in the back pops his D-shield to make it out, and the Anubarak Impale will manage to slow down and stall. But now they're re-engaging into the slow, so it is going to be a successful disengage.
I want to point out again, they're fighting over nothing.
And now Chromie's got her level 18 piercing talent, so maybe, you know, now that they've got that, they do get a pretty significant advantage in some of these narrower corridors, especially around this boss. So we'll see if that gives them the advantage they need to take a significant fight here.
Oh, why don't go bruisers? Okay, well, I guess you can go bruisers if the other team has decided that they don't want the boss.
It is kind of surprising that we're seeing such a heavy commitment to, you know, the teams going to the bruisers. But, you know, we did see the Arthas in that mid slowing things down, and with 3 of Azmo carry making sure that they couldn't do anything. So now we've got a top altar that could take out a keep for either team. And here comes Uther deep in the front there, managing to get that stun on the Rhaegar.
Right. Whoa. Okay, Arthas I thought was bottom lane for some reason.
He just got back.
They can't give up this. I guess he was getting the soak. That's what he was doing. Getting the soak to try to get them up to 20.
Yeah, they're very close to that 20, too.
If they can hit... Oh, that's a dead keep. They have 20 for briefest of moments. They have the advantage. They need to push in here, and they do.
Here comes the Sundering as now Megamilk will get the Ancestral, but Rhaegar goes down thanks to the
dead Rhaegar.
The crushing jaws hits 2.
But that's a dead... Oh! Dead!
But
Chromie! Dead!
Imperius goes down and followed by the Sylvanas, so now Sack of Bricks will get onto that altar, and they may very well get enough of that to finish up the top keep as well, as they're trying to chase down this Anubarak and Uther. But now, with only Anubarak and Uther as compared to 4 members of Sack of Bricks, this opens up a lot of opportunity for them. They have 30 seconds left of this. They've got to get value. They do get that top keep. So where's this value going to come from? Because right now you've only got 2 people trying to push core.
Go for the keeps. Don't go for the core. Core is a throw.
And it looks like, I don't think he doesn't have armies, so you had to pull back. You've got 15 seconds till Chromie's here, and you're low on your Arthas, you're low on your Orpheus. So you just spent 20, 30 seconds of time on those 2 heroes doing absolutely nothing. And now you don't have the potential to get the boss necessarily. You don't get that middle keep, which was already at half health.
Right.
I think that was a little bit of a misplay. I think they leave 1 person on that top altar, and they head down to the boss and start work on that. But they didn't.
I don't know if they do the boss without Rhaegar. they just didn't have the kind of sustain. They were all kind of. What I would have liked to see is them pushing in the middle lane and put damage on that middle fort.
Yeah, they could have easily gotten that keep, even just with the people they had there, if they had any kind of wave.
Oh, a little bit of a fight breaking out over the Rainer's raid. It's actually pretty important to have that thing stay alive.
Yep.
And let's look at some of these 20s. Oh, he went Duskwing. He didn't go Execute. I think that's a major misplay.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects them, especially considering he no longer... well, I guess his Rainer's in the back there. It's healed up. But interestingly enough, we see the Divine Protection out of Uther, that double bonus to his trait, increasing the potential armor up to 50.
Huh. Well, that means that he doesn't have an auto-res. If they lose Uther, then that's good night, sweet prince.
Indeed. We'll see how that turns out for him, as it looks like the teams are potentially posting up to take different shrines here. This is definitely going to favor Sack of Bricks, as their opponent's mid keep is already at half health. And of course, Thrall and Arthas looking to keep an eye on this boss. Chromie's got her traps set up all over the place here, so they know what's going on here.
Goodness, but right now, Red Team has a slight advantage as far as buildings go. They have a little bit more HP for their middle keep. And I think they just lost that little bit of advantage, baby. Almost.
Yeah, this is where it's going to come down to. So in just a moment, we're going to see the end of this game, as there are
one way or the other.
mid.
There are catapults pushing it down mid. I'm surprised.
Here they go. Anubarak already chunked down.
Silence. Sunder comes out. Dead. Anubarak.
Burrow charged back in. The D-shield out onto Uther gets a stun onto the Arthas, as Imperius is very slow. Chromie getting caught by the Arthas slow as well. And it looks like Chromie's going to go down. Time Trap hits 3, but Imperius will also die. This looks like it's going to be the end of game number 3, as Sack of Bricks will mount up and make their way to the core. You have Sylvanas and Uther to try to stop this, and I don't know that that's enough.
I've seen miracles happen before, but... Oh, wow.
Sylvanas is trying to do her best, put out the damage, but they're all spread around, so she can't spread that damage, as the core is just melting 50%, 20% now, as all 5 members of Sack of Bricks will bring it to an upset victory. Number 6 taking out number 3, Azmo carry. GG, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 6 took out number 3. Amazing. Amazing! Now, you always seem to get the craziest sets.
You know what? I'm just a magic charm like that.
Goodness.
What a game! I can't believe that. So we had a Juice Pirates game 2 successful, and then a game 3 down to almost the last structure, and just a couple of, slight adjustments. Those misplays we talked about didn't end up costing them too much, and you know what? They managed to pull it out in the end. Now, I don't think that our good friend Android lets me talk to him, so I'll have to find somebody else here. You talk for a second while I try to find somebody to talk to.
Okay, goodness gracious. Again, look at the stat line here. You look at the stats, you take a screenshot, and of course you're thinking, oh, I see, blue team won. They had their highest damage was 62,000 compared to 47,000. They had less deaths overall. Oh no, okay. I thought they had less deaths, but still, the damage output on their team was so very high. And they had, just amazing. I am at a loss for words about that. Because at the beginning it seemed like Azmo carry had a significant lead in it, and wow, sack of bricks came down on them.
Like a sack of bricks. Squishing that bug. All right, well, let me set up for the interview here real quick. It looks like we do have Andrade, so I just want to make sure that I put Andrade's information in here real quick. Put that up there. And let's go ahead and go to that interview page. Oh no, it's not uploading. There we go, now it's working. All right, let's go ahead and hop up to lobby 1 real quick so that we can have a quick chat.
Andre,
Hey, what's going on?
how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. It was a pretty good set. It was some pretty good games.
So, you brought a little bit of craziness to this match. Just a little bit.
Yeah, so like, we love Juice Pirates, like, just because it's so hilariously fun. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't care as much because we just have fun running it. And so we hadn't got to do it all season, and I was just like, guys, if we get to pick a map, our next map is Cursed Hollow, and they all knew what that meant, and so it was just a fun time.
So I gotta ask you, like, so you know, from a map perspective, from a game perspective, all 3 of these games looked like they were in favor of Azmo carry, right? The first game, obviously they won the game. The third game, for most of that game, it felt like it was in Azmo carry's favor. And obviously the second game is a little harder to get a read on it because, of course, Juice Pirates is Juice Pirates, and you know, you're playing your hand. So how did things go for you in comms? Like, were you guys at all concerned throughout these matches, or did you stay calm, cool, collected throughout this whole thing?
So the first game, our strategy didn't really pan out like we wanted it to. And they just beat us just straight up. With the third game, we had practiced this specific comp a bunch, just like in games, and had lots of luck with it. And we found that it was sort of a later game comp. And so we knew that as long as we stayed close in levels in the, like, from like 1 to 13, that once around 13 hit, we would be in a pretty good shape to just win team fights. Because I would be really, really tanky, and I could just get on the back line without fear of dying. And it sort of worked out exactly like that. So we were pretty calm in game 3, even though we were behind for the beginning.
And so prior to this game, like, what did you guys do to prepare for this? Because you're the underdog, you know, 6th seed, with Azmo carry being the 3rd seed. They're, you know, 23 points. They put out a lot of wins this season. Like, how did that go for you?
We just sort of reviewed what they played all season. We beat them at the beginning of the season, 2-1, same thing. We threw the first game, or the first map, and then we won, I think, pretty convincingly in the next 2. So we weren't necessarily like, oh, I don't think we saw it as we're the underdogs. I think because we lost, or because the games that we won were mostly 2-1s during the season, it sort of looked, the points were definitely in their favor because I think they dominated most of their wins. But ultimately, we reviewed what we did last time. We found a new strategy with our game 3 that worked, and we felt pretty comfortable.
Absolutely. And so you guys now will be going up against Pigeon Stitches here next week. And I'm just looking here to see, it looks like now Pigeon Stitches did beat you guys 2-0 in the regular season. So are you prepared for that? Are you ready to go? Or do you looking for a little bit more practice this week to get into that level?
We definitely are going to need some more practice. We actually didn't get to play Pigeon Stitches. We had to forfeit just because the scheduling was super weird. Like, I think they were hamstrung by their scheduling, and they could only really play on like Easter Sunday, and we were going to, but then 2 of our dudes had IRL stuff come up.
As your div mod, I now remember that very clearly.
And so it's definitely going to be tough, just looking at what they've done, but we're going to run our stats, practice some comps that we think will give us an edge, and we'll see where let the chips fall where they may.
Well, and just to provide clarification, so if you didn't forfeit that match, so Pigeon Stitches could have been as low as 21, and you guys could have been as high as 18. So a little bit closer of a scenario there, if that forfeit didn't happen, but it did, So the match is what it is. But now you get the opportunity to play against them for the first time. Have you seen them play at all? Have you watched any of their matches?
Yeah, I've seen some of them. They look like they deserve the place that they are currently in. I mean, there are a couple matches that I saw that it looks like they're beatable, but for the most part, I don't think the rankings lie in their case.
Sure. Well, that's all the important questions. I'll see if I come up with something else here when we're all done with Munkus. But Munkus, by all means, take the floor.
I am just. When did you decide? Like, at what point did you think we're gonna do Juice Pirates Game 2 all or?
So we've wanted to do Juice Pirates all season, but like stuff like that's only effective when it's not expected. And so by holding it the entire season, we were like, okay, well, when we're in the playoffs, if we get our back against the wall, well, that's when we'll pull it out. And so I would say right around my 15th death as Johanna in Towers of Doom is when I was like, yeah, we're going to do this, guys.
There's only 8. Truth in advertising here. It was only 8.
Well, either way, it felt like a bunch. I mean, it felt way more than it was definitely way more than it should have been.
I will jump in just real quick there. For what it's worth, you guys managed to pull this off, but for what it's worth, especially in that game 1, just keep an eye on that positioning. There were a lot of times that Johanna was on an island. Oh yeah. There's
times where I thought I made the call to go in, but then I look and the rest of my team was behind me, and I was like, oh, I guess I didn't. Well, I'm dead.
I've made that mistake. Munkus, do you have anything else for Andrade?
I was just so very impressed by the decision making, the shot calls in the last games. Who is the guy on your team that is doing the shot calling, like during?
It's sort of a Megu Milk, the guy who plays Thrall, will make some calls. Shan CB9, the guy who's on Raynor, will make some calls. And unless there's like a definitive, no, this is the move that we need to make, we just go with kind of like ad hoc calling. But if there is like we need to make this decision or we need to do this, it's usually me. So like the temples that we were going for, that was me. Like the call to end, that was me. And generally like where we're going to fight from is usually me too.
Right. I was a little bit curious about the decision at the end to go for the fight instead of getting the middle tower, but y'all managed to wipe them and roll on to victory.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. I think that was the fight where we saw Chromie alone and we thought we could pick her. Right. Because once she gets 18 and she gets the piercing sands and the 3 echoes, like if you don't kill Chromie, you just lose the game. And so I think we tried to get that, but then she ran away. I think maybe by like half a dozen pixels, my root missed her. But then they all kind of came back, and it was like, well, I guess we're fighting now. Let's get in a position, and then hope I don't die, and I can cause the back line to run away while we take down the front line.
Yeah, so I do want to ask you about one other part of that game. In the top lane, you guys had a fight where I think you killed 3. Arthas and Thrall kept charging forward to the core.
Yeah.
Boss was up. That middle keep was about half health. So that has to be like a miscommunication or maybe no communication, I guess. What was going on there? Because you had 2 back at the altar shrine, and then you had Thrall and Arthas, and you got 0 value out of that kill, other than obviously the shrine. So like, I think you could have gotten more. What happened there?
So I made the call to keep pushing, and they wanted to, but I think they were just clearing the minion lanes first, or the minions from the lane first, so we could have our own minion pressure on the core. But I think it just took longer than they wanted to, and so we had to just back off, and we ended up just not getting value.
Gotcha. And that is a call that I have seen numerous times in casting. And it doesn't matter the division. I've seen it Div A, Div B, Div C, and Div D, where, part of the team wants to go, part of the team doesn't quite get the message, or maybe they make the call, but they take the wrong way, and it takes some extra time. I saw a Div A game, they took all the way around the top when they were in bot lane. And so, it happens, and this is the playoffs. Communication is super urgent, and people get, excited, nervous, a little bit riled up, but, you guys manage to succeed. You get into the next round, and that's got to be sweet for you guys, right?
Yeah, we're definitely pumped. We're definitely excited. It should be a good next match.
Good deal. Monkus, any final questions for Andrade?
No. Well, maybe. Was there anything you really wish you could have brought out tonight? Any hero or strategy that you wanted to play but didn't really get the opportunity to?
I 100% of the time want to play Zool main tank, just because, again, it's really fun. But I think the strat, I think we got everything that we wanted to do. Like, we wanted to juice pirates if we could, so we got that. We wanted this specific comp that we had on Sky Temple, so we sort of got the games we wanted. So I think it worked out. No, I think we were happy with how it played out.
Good deal. Well, Andrade, go ahead, and the floor is yours for any shout-outs or comments you'd like to make to your future opponents.
First, good job, Sack of Bricks, Megu, Maul, Hybrid, Shank. Way to show up. Any of my students who are watching, you're welcome. I told you I can play this game. And to Pigeon Stitches, get ready. We may or may not have some more fun cheese.
Oh, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Get your crackers, boys and girls. Well, Andrade, as always, it's a pleasure to get you in here and have this cast. I'm glad that we were able to get this done for you. Make sure to get that match scheduled as soon as possible with Pigeon Stitches, so that we can make sure you got a cast for that as well.
Yes, sir. And thanks for putting it on. Now I got to go back and watch it and see how we did.
Good deal. Well, try not to take anything too personally. We just try to call things as we see them, and it was a fun and exciting couple of games.
Oh yeah, no worries. Take it easy, you guys.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, so that's going to conclude this matchup between Azmo carrying Sack of Bricks, 2-1 in favor of Sack of Bricks, and it looks like we just busted Turd Herder's brackets. I don't know what the rest of you guys' brackets are looking like, but we've had a couple of really solid games these last couple days, a couple of upsets. Monkus, anything that you'd like to say out there for chat? Monkus?
Oh, sorry. I had a bit of a headache there. What was the question again? Sorry.
Oh, it's just anything else you'd like to say to chat before we take off.
Always got to make sure to finish up your high C, drink your juice, because you never know when the juice pirates will strike in the dead of night and steal your juicy. And shout outs to Arrogant Nephilim, to Dux, our coach, and to all the people in chat. Thank you very much for coming out today. Had a lot of fun casting.
Good deal. So if you are looking for something to do later today, we've got at 10:30 Eastern on
right.
Arcane Arboretum's channel. So twitch.tv/Arcane Arboretum. We'll be casting 10 armor versus Arrogant Nephilim, and Arrogant Nephilim, of course, being Munkus's team. But you're not playing in that tonight, you said, right?
That is correct. I am but a lowly sub, and I shall be there if my team needs me, but they most likely will not.
Fair enough. And at 11 o'clock tonight, so shortly thereafter, you can find Div C East, UARC Esports versus Ban Cho. And while I certainly don't want to take away from the Arrogant Nephilim game, that is going to be a game to watch between these two teams. If you're in Div C, you've already seen the hype, but these teams put up some just impressive numbers at the end of the season, managing for Ban Cho to take a match over the Founding Vikings, the #1 seed in Div C East, and UARC Esports managed to finish out a solid 4 out of 5 games at the end there to climb their way up from, I think they were down at 8 or 9, all the way up to #4, and Ban Cho went from number 10 up to number 5. So that is going to be a fantastic match to watch. And then tomorrow night, if any of you casters are out there, we do have the final Div D East game for this week between Save the Murloc and Backbone AI. Currently uncast, but I'm sure somebody will manage to pull that out for us. So that's the end of the stream here, folks. Have a good weekend, and we'll see some of you back later tonight.
Hopefully, and y'all have a good night.
Good luck to your team in your match here tonight, Munkus.
Thank you very much. I don't know how many people will be watching that, especially Game of Thrones, but we'll see.
There's always the VOD. And thanks again to everybody who took the time to follow today, and of course my good friend Moist Weenus out there with the 69 bits. We appreciate it greatly. And we'll see you soon.